Episode 36. Welcome back, guys. Just before we get started, a massive thank you to our sponsor, Usk Stoves. I don't know if you've noticed recently, but the heating bill in my house has come down drastically since we've started moving into spring. So I'd quite like the feeling of not having to pay hundreds of pounds a month in heating every single month by having a stove.
Yeah.
So presumably, you get to chop wood in the garden.
Yeah.
That's probably the most manliest thing you can do. And you get to save hundreds of pounds each month on your heating bill. You can also save 10% if you pop into the shop, and they are at NP40JL, which is Vale Park in just outside Usk in Pontypool.
Yeah.
And they'll give you 10% off if you say you're a friend or fan of the podcast. So yeah, massive shout out to them. Lauren Stockley's got one. She's an elite athlete. Nicole's got one. She... not an elite athlete. Pretty close to being an elite athlete. She, Nicole's got one. Shout out Nicole for actually buying one through the podcast, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, thank you very much.
Yeah, cool. As we always...
just the two of us?
Yeah, just the two of us today.
How was... that's on. How's your week been?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. We had a bit of a big build-up last week to some heavy weights in training. Which came at the right time. My energy was just fucking like on the deck by the time I finished it. So then I took 4 or 5 days off, which was all around the bank holiday and Sarah's birthday as well. So we just had the ideal weekend of loads of food, loads of carbs, like chilled out, no training, and then came back into the new wave yesterday, which I'm feeling today already, which is a good sign. But it's been good, mate. The weights are moving nicely. A couple of failed lifts here and there, but such is life.
They don't get posted to Instagram though, so they don't exist.
Well, I have posted mine because you fuckers need to see them, and I can't lie. I can't bullshit. I can't say, you should show your misses and then never show mine. So I do miss weights. But yeah, overall, it's been a good week. Energy's back. Feeling fired up. Feeling ready to go. But,
good.
How's yours, mate? You've had a big one?
We had Easter. I ate 5 Easter eggs in one day, which was, I don't want to say it's a PB because I don't think it is, but it was, it was a good weekend. No, I got back into squatting somewhat heavy, which was quite nice.
Which I literally celebrated.
Yeah.
When you did it, I watched, it came up on my phone and I went, he's back.
He's back. He's back. So me squatting heavy with a back squat is the same as Charlie's front squat, which is, quite underwhelming for me, but I was happy with my efforts nonetheless. No, I had a fantastic week in the sense of clients. So Alice Roberts, who is 15, and she's been with me since she was 12. She went away to, I can't remember the uni, but it's in England somewhere. Basically, they're holding the under 18s Six Nations. So she's representing Wales. She is 15, playing in the under 18s, which is fantastic. And when you see some of the girls there, mate, they are not small. So they played Italy. They beat Italy in their 2 35-minute games for some reason. So they beat Italy, lost to France, but France beat every other team with like clean sheet.
Yeah.
And they scored 2 tries against France, so they gave them a good game.
Yeah.
And they beat England in a full match, which is always nice. But she's, she's very athletic. She's very strong. She's still 2 or 3 years younger than most of the girls there. But, she's a normal-sized 15-year-old.
Yeah.
You see some of these girls, and I swear to God, they're like 6'5", like 20+ stone props, and you think this just like the standard and the level of some of these girls is insane. So for her to be representing her country 2 years prior, which at that age is massive, and then she's there, she's doing it, she's competing with all these girls, and she's had 3 caps for her country.
I was going to say, is that the first time she's been away with them?
Yeah, she made the squad this year, which is, I think she's literally the youngest you can be to play for them. And there might be one other girl that's the same year as her in school. But yeah, that is the first opportunity she's had, and she's had 3 caps now. She's got the kit, she's done it all. So even if she stopped playing now, like, we're all very proud of her.
Yeah, that's nice.
So that's a fantastic week. And then even younger than that, Lily, my daughter, has started, she's going to gymnastics. She's, from what I can see, she's pretty good at gymnastics. Like, she's doing things I can't do already.
Shut that window because you can hear
everything going on outside. But she we're sort of explaining to her, you know, if she says, oh, what do I do for work? She says, Daddy makes people strong, which I quite like. And me and Abby were sort of explaining to her, like, if you want to get better at things, you know, you have to try, you have to train, you have to show up, you have to be consistent. And she said to me, Daddy, you need to take me to the gym because I need to train for gymnastics. So I
need to get fucking swole.
Yeah, so I took her there on a bank holiday evening after doing, I did like 10 hours in a row, back to back. Came home, grabbed something to eat, and then took her down there. And I thought, right, we'll just do, you know, I was really excited to do it. But we did about half an hour. And for a 4-year-old to be doing pull-ups and squats and kettlebell deadlifts and leg raises and things like that and just messing around and jumps, I thought, right, that's enough now. We've done our bit. And then she made me stay for another half an hour because she said, no, Dad, I need to train for this. So I said at the minute, I'll take her back once a week because I still want it to be fun. I still want it to be new. I want it to be, we're not doing it in the house. Like, we're away from the house. We're going specifically somewhere to do it. Yeah, it's exciting. And I don't want to dilute it. So if we do it once a week, that's still a massive stimulus for a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
And she's going to get loads from it. And she was doing some like trying some pull-ups on the rings earlier. She can nearly do a full body weight pull-up, which is, I think I was like 17 when I did my first pull-up. So she's a bit ahead of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, all in all, mate, fantastic week.
That's class. So there's no 8-week training cycle for Lily to go into now, twice a day.
No, she's on
bulking.
she's on the Go Mad diet.
Yeah.
She is doing 5-3-1.
Yeah.
No, she's with kids. Just
have fun.
Yeah, just the main thing you can do is make sure they enjoy it, I think, and make sure they want to come back and train because you've got their whole lives, you know, to make them strong and make them capable. But as long as they want to do it, that is by far the best thing.
Yeah. With eating a bit more now then, and are you squatting back what we were like regularly now?
Yeah. So yeah, my knee was playing up a little bit, and I wanted to get down to like, you know, single digit sort of body fat, and we were pretty much there. And then I had a day of sort of eating a bit more calories and getting into it. And I think if we slowly creep back up now and just continue squatting, we'll just see where it goes. But yeah, I think 160 for 10 was a bit of a PB. So
that's it.
I can't remember doing that before. So we're very much on track to squat something decent this year, which will be quite nice.
You're like the polar opposite to me though in terms of volume and singles.
Oh. Yeah, I'm really slow twitch, so I was never like a fast sprinter. I was never good at being explosive or like super high box jumps or anything. But if you had like literally 80%, I could do it for 10, which is that's not
good.
bad.
That's real good going, yeah.
Whereas when it comes to heavy singles, I either just don't do them enough, or I'm just predisposed to be better at volume, which always, you know, helped in CrossFit because I was quite fit and good at the longer stuff. Whereas you're very explosive.
Are you planning on maxing your squat anytime soon?
I don't know. Not like next week.
I think you'd be interested. It'd be interesting for you to see. I think the difference. I think you would probably surprise yourself.
I'm definitely going to. It's, you know, not this week or next week. I want to get some weeks of squatting under my belt again. But yeah, it'll be interesting. But I still want to squat 220 this year. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like regardless of what fucking body weight, but it's probably not going to be under 90 kilos. No.
Yeah. So as today is a bit of a unusual one for me and you, I posted quite a few things on Instagram over the week and just said, look, send us in your questions, send us in your topics. And besides that, listeners, we chat to a listener. I say listeners, they're just mates, really. We just chat to you guys, and then usually we'll have someone who'll say, oh, you should talk about this, or oh, this is a topic you should talk about.
Yeah.
But I had one question off Mike Webb, who we are trying to get on the podcast at some point. But he said, he asked me a good question. He said, if you were to open up a gym now, what things would you do to establish the culture you want? And in that case, what culture would you want? Now, I've written mine from a weightlifting point of view, and you've got a few from a CrossFit point of view.
Which is funny, though, because we've had, like, half-serious offers, should we say, about, like, potentially, you know, have you ever thought about opening a gym? And I couldn't see me opening a CrossFit gym. I don't know if you would open a weightlifting gym, but, like, you know, if me and you ever had more hours in the day or seriously sat down and thought about opening a gym, I don't think I would open a CrossFit gym.
No.
I think it would work more on the basis of like a personal training studio with like the college football gyms where you have like squat rack, squat rack, squat rack. Similar to something like Ash has got at the jiu-jitsu gym now on the side. Like that's shout out Ashley Amos. Yeah, it's really cool in there.
Come on the pod, please.
You won't get cancelled. Just come on the pod. Yeah, I'd really, really like to sit down with Ash actually. But anyway, for anyone who hasn't seen it, he's got a few squat racks. He's got a turf with a sled on it, and then half of the gym is just jiu-jitsu because obviously that's his bread and butter.
Yeah.
But obviously very, very strong guy as well. And there's, it's cool shit there. There's a belt squat. So I think it would be something similar to that where you and I would both work from.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the original question. If you were to open up a gym now, what things would you do to establish the culture you want? So, Charlie, if you were to open a weightlifting gym, what would you do?
So it would be easy for me here now to sit down and just reel off all of the things that Willpower did, and say, do this, do that, have these rules, have this in place, because I know it worked for a certain group of people in a certain sort of demographic, and it worked for me. So I've been in that environment, and I love that environment, but I'm not going to do that because that wasn't my thing. That was someone else's thing, and I sort of walked into it and just stepped into line and enjoyed it for what it was. And that's something that Mike said. He said, it's hard for you to start something from scratch with your own input and see how it works out, because lots of the places that we train in, you've got loads of weightlifting groups or gyms around the place now. It's becoming more and more popular with everyone. So, you go into each club and they all have their own little, I don't know, personalities or niches or things that they like doing. So the things that I would personally do if I was kind of starting up from scratch, and what I've done with my weightlifting classes, is the first things first. I would say everyone, and I mean absolutely everyone, will share a bar with everyone. So no egos, no like he's better than me or she's better than me, or
heavy platform.
It's like, no, I can only train with her because she's my friend, or I can only train with him because he's lifting as much as me. I would make sure that it was literally everyone in that place shared a bar with everyone, because it stops the, let's say, clickiness of a gym sort of arising and becoming then you only have a certain amount of training partners, where it's just like, if we were going to a gym, the easy option would be me and you training together because we know each other, we're mates, we're this, we're that, we've got similar numbers. But
I'll back squat, you front squat.
Yeah, but it's like you can have great training partners, and you can push people, and you can have a regular training partner, but that shouldn't stop you from training with someone who's stronger than you or weaker than you, because you will always learn from every individual. I watched a video the other day that reminded me of this. It wasn't anything to do with weightlifting. It was a skateboarder, and he was there was a professional. I don't know his name, but he was a professional skateboarder, and he was commentating over the top of a skateboarder who wasn't as good as him. He was trying to become like a professional, and this guy just showed absolutely no fear, and he was a bit of a lunatic. He was trying this crazy drop in, but rep after rep after rep, he was bailing, he was crashing, he was psyching himself up, he'd run back up the ramps, and you'd be talking on the microphone, you'd be slamming the microphone into his head, no helmet, no nothing, just like an absolute lunatic, loose cannon. But then he hit this trick, and it wasn't even really a trick. It was basically just a balls out kind of, I'm going to drop in from this height, no one else is doing it, and I'm just going to do it until I do it. And it was like, he's either going to break or he's going to do it.
Yeah.
And eventually he does it. And the guy said, that's something that I need a lot more in my own training, is the lack of fear to try new things, or to go out there and put yourself out there in front of people and expose yourself to the scary side of the sport. Like, he was very, let's say, technically good and a professional skater, so he's one of the best of the best, but he said sometimes you can almost lack that desirability to say, I'll try something wild because I've got my bag here. I know what I'm capable of.
Do you think half of it as well is the fear of looking to be seen as not good at something?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So like the first thing that came to mind then was George St. Pierre, arguably one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time. When he would go away and do, like, say he's doing like just jiu-jitsu training or just striking or just whatever, he would put himself in really bad positions and be shit at them for weeks or months or whatever, and then he would get so good at these positions because he wasn't afraid to look really bad in training and just start on the back foot.
Yeah.
And then the having a no ego thing, which I know we mentioned in the gym, leads you to becoming one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, exactly. And it's getting used to being uncomfortable, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. And so that would be rule number one. It would be a case of there wouldn't be any like, there's your 4 people up there that always train with each other, and there's your 3 people down here who get left out. It's like, no, we're all fucking sharing bars. Doesn't matter who's lifting with who, and that would be my number one. Secondly, I think youth lifters. So this was something again that I saw a little bit in Willpower, but it wasn't necessarily like a youth-based gym. It wasn't like you had a youth setup and then a senior section. It was you were youth and you just got drafted straight in. If you were committed enough and you showed enough sort of determination, it didn't matter again what weight you were lifting. It was like if you were ready to go, you're good.
Yeah.
And that's something I think is really good for the youth to a certain degree. And I think I would love to have like a youth lifter setup similar to kind of like what Meg has, but I would start to say that your youth lifter can experience now senior sessions. Doesn't matter how much weight they're lifting, doesn't matter what age they are. If they show that they are determined enough and they are consistent enough of week in, week out, training, that you can maybe get invited into come and do a 5 o'clock session with the adults. So I think let's say if I was a 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old boy, and I'm showing up to the gym, and then I had the head coach come up to me and say, look, do you want to come and lift with the lads? I think for me, I would be like, oh my God, this sense of achievement comes like, and then once you're inducted into that, you will start to behave differently. I think if you have a youth lifter who's 14, 15, 16, girl or boy, and you're in with older females lifting, whether they're 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, you start to pick up on things and you start to learn behaviors that in lots of gyms should be good.
You see how you're supposed to carry yourself, how you're supposed to train, the intensity, the rest periods, everything that matters. You're going to see it firsthand and you're going to live it. And then you carry that as you get a little bit older. You take some other teenager under your wing and you fucking show them, this is how we train, this is how you act. You don't dick about, because we've been teenagers in the gym with our friends. You're just idiots. You're a bunch of monkeys just messing around in there. And then you train at somewhere like Willpower. It's early in the morning. It's no bullshit. This is what we're doing. You get on with it and you get it done.
Yeah, I think something like that would be great for the youth of today. And I don't think you should, similar to what Gareth said, was like you shouldn't parent your child with child gloves on. I think they need to be exposed to that side of this is the reality of the sport, whether it's CrossFit, rugby, football, Olympic lifting, whatever it is. Like they need to see, like if you're a 12, 13, 14-year-old boy and you're starting to train seriously and starting to kind of ask the questions of, could I take this seriously? Am I good enough? Can I do this as a sport? Blah, blah, blah. And then you walk into a gym and you see the likes of Jordan Sakis trying to clean 180 kilos, and you can see them, having to really dig deep or have mental battles and go through the trenches. At 12, 13, 14 years old, those are life lessons you learn that you go, well, if I want to be this good, I have to do what he's doing. And you pick up on that, well, yes, there might be some bad language. Yes, there might be some fruity music now and again. Yes, there might be an atmosphere in the room that is quite fucking brutal and volatile. But you start to learn then that it's okay. Like at 13, 14, 15, it's okay if someone's screaming and shouting because they've hit a big lift or if they're pissed off, or it's okay to feel this way and you can just express it in an open way. I think that would be quite cool for them.
It's good they get to see the rawness of it all as well, because if you were like a Jordan Sakis character, like an elite lifter at 18 years old, you think it's all just what Instagram is, of fucking 200 kilo clean and jerk, and it's all rainbows and sunshine. Whereas if you see him like getting in his own head before he has to do something that he's scared to do, you realise, fuck, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to miss lifts. It's okay to have shit days. It's okay to be afraid of things, but it's not okay to just let that overcome you. And like you can see these people that you look up to go through it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The other things then, again, I agreed with this at Willpower, so there were leaderboards at Willpower, which I think is great, and I know lots of lifting gyms like Psych Weightlifting, they do challenges and stuff like that, which look really, really fun. And I know certain CrossFit gyms will have like, I know in our gym we've got like a challenge board where we'll do challenge workouts. We'll write the workout on the board, we'll keep it there forever, and we'll basically say for any member who wants to come in, you can do the workout, write your time down or number down, and then at the end, if you do it again, you can obviously rub it off and see how much you improved. But for leaderboards, what I would do is I'd regularly update them for personal and team purposes. So what I found with the Willpower ones, because lots of them were so fucking unachievable. Like you looked at certain gyms and you like, there was like squats that were over 270 kilos on the board. You know, there was like Zercher squats over 200 kilos, back squat, front squat. And that was just the level of Willpower. So you can't hold that against them. But the likelihood of me holding a fucking any record of Willpower is little to none.
Did they have?
You had like Donny Shankles on the board.
Did they have weight classes for them? Was it just all out?
Just like all out.
Yeah, that.
So
yeah.
So for me, what I would do is I'd have a leaderboard, but I'd update it monthly. So I'd say like your heaviest snatch this month.
Would you have a separate one as well, being like all-time heaviest lift?
Yeah,
or?
so you could have your all-time, and you could have like a Sinclair one to make it a little bit fairer. But I think it pushes people the standard of the lifter up monthly to see it monthly. So if you said, well, Charlie snatched 115 this month, at the end of the month it resets. Well, if I only snatch 110 and someone snatches more than me this month, I can't say, oh, well, last month I was stronger than you. It's, you know, I think it's a bit more fair and a bit more fun. And to go along with that, what I would try and have is like a monthly max out for everyone in random challenges. So it's not like just snatch clean jerk. It would be like max complex, max block, max, but everyone
max
gets
overhead
involved.
squat.
Yeah, it's like everyone gets involved. It doesn't matter who you are. It is literally, this is the monthly thing, and if you want to prepare for it, if you don't, it doesn't matter. You rock up on that day and you all dig deep as a team, because I think weightlifting is such a solitary sport, which you can quite easily go to a JD gym, chuck your headphones on, be there an hour and a half on a platform on your own, and then leave. And you are technically still doing, well, I say technically, you're doing the sport correctly. But I think in the sport, having a team backing behind you that drives competition, drives standard, drives encouragement, drives that sort of fire, you're only going to benefit from that. You know?
If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Exactly. What about you with...
So I really like the leaderboard one, because the first thing it reminds me of is Westside Barbell, where they got the weight classes and you got fucking Laura Phelps, you know, squatting more than half of the guys there.
Yeah.
And I've been on both ends of this. So we originally, we had some leaderboards up in the gym, and let's say 2018, right, in a CrossFit gym, in my CrossFit gym, I was never the best CrossFitter in the world. But as far as local gyms go, we would have, you know, if we had Grace on there and Fran and all these workouts and stuff, my fucking name would have been under every single one of them for the workouts. Maybe not on the strength stuff. So for me in that position, I'd go, yeah, I want a leaderboard, because my name was going to be up there all the time.
Yeah.
If I went to Willpower, I wouldn't have any of those lifts. I would never, and I wouldn't ever have any of those lifts on there. And I still think it's a good idea, because it's something to aim for. And you think, oh, you know, there's a 300 kilo deadlift there. You're like, fuck, well, I want to deadlift a really big weight anyway. It's another reason for me to do it, because I can get my name up there. I can get a 302 kilo deadlift and everyone's going to fucking respect me.
Yeah.
I like the idea of leaderboards. I like the idea of weight classes on there. I like the idea of changing it as well and having fun ones. I think if you're put off by competition and you think, oh, I'm never going to get that anyway, it probably isn't the sport for you, because it is a hard sport and it churns through people.
Well, it's more as well. It's like if you're not driven by competition, don't look.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like, you know, you don't, for me and for lots of others, being in that environment of Willpower when they brought the Sinclair totals and stuff like that, it was literally, the leaderboard was forever changing, and it was a thing, but especially between the boys. I don't know about the girls, because obviously I'm not a girl, but between the boys it was very much you would max out on a Friday, and if someone hit a PB, everyone would you would rush to the office afterwards and say, right, where am I now? Like, where's my Sinclair now? What's happening? Have I gone from 13th to 11th? Am I nearly in the top 10?
Yeah.
Or am I? And it wasn't necessarily, yes, you had the banter of, oh, I'm beating you now, to certain people who were your mates, and you would always have banter. But it was more to see where your position was inside of the club. So, you know, if you broke into, I think I may have broken into maybe the top 10 once, maybe a little bit before that. And it was like, I did it. I knew I was never going to be top. I knew I was never going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Possibly even 8 or 9, but I knew that if I can break the top 10, I'm building and I'm building, and it was something to aim for.
You're one of the boys.
But lots of people didn't care. Lots of people would just live, and they would still be put on the leaderboard. And if you wanted to now and again have a look, but I guarantee if you look once, you'll look again. Yeah,
it's addictive, isn't it?
Yeah.
But again, it's like the same thing of I try and live all of my life like this. Like the world doesn't have to pander to you and what you're offended or not offended by. Like, if you don't like competition, just don't look at it. You know? There's all these things that I might disagree with that go on in the world. I don't like how people do this or do that. It's not up for the world to make my life easy. Like, I just don't look at it if you don't like it.
What about you for CrossFit?
So mine's a little bit different, obviously, because it's a very different gym. This one sounds really snobby, but when you break it down, it's there for a reason. So I would have a high ticket for entry in the sense of the gym membership would be higher than a normal gym, especially like, you know, a Simply Gym or whatever, or a Pure Gym or a JD or one of these commercial gyms where they charge £16 a month. So I like those gyms. I like training in there. I just put my headphones in and get on with it if I get a chance to. But I would make the quality of the coaching and the service you provide worth it. Everyone who walks in the gym, you'd say hello to. You would be pleasant, you would be polite, because we've all been new in places. And you're on the back foot and you just want to feel welcome. So I would make sure it's a worthwhile gym to charge enough money for, but also the caliber of people that you want around you. It's a hard one, because if you go to these gyms, you know, you've got people there with their tops off shadow boxing in front of the mirrors. Like, it's not necessarily what you want for the environment in your gym. So you almost sort of outprice that because people go, oh, fuck it, I'll just go to JD gym and I'll pay £12 a month. That's fine, go there. This gym isn't for you. It's like a really friendly, pleasant place to be. And having a higher ticket price does create that environment, you know, for right or wrong. That's what I would start with. But I would justify it by having great coaches, great quality service. It would be clean, we'd have good equipment, all these things that you would want to have. I would run on-ramps. So for anyone who doesn't know what an on-ramp is, it will be usually, if you start a CrossFit gym, you would have what we did at CSV. You would have, we started off with 2 weeks, I think. So you would come in Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 2 weeks. It is a bit of a ball ache and it is a bit of a faff if you're time poor. But you would come to these groups and you would have the same group of you for the 6 sessions or the 4 sessions or whatever it would be. And you'd make friends, you'd have a little WhatsApp group. Oh, are you going on Tuesdays? Blah, 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 blah. And then you'd all almost graduate together. I think we had you give everyone like a bottle of beer. You haven't got to drink it, but you can cheers together. You have a little drink, go away, and then you can all join the classes as a group or with 1 or 2 of you. And you've got a friend to start with that you didn't have 2 weeks ago. I think that's a really good way of people getting introduced to CrossFit. Rather than having, oh, I want to join the gym, I'll do a one-to-one with Charlie, who's a coach there, and then boom, you're on your own, get stuck in. Which does work, but I'd rather have the on-ramp scenario. Upholding standards and rules. So I know we spoke about this earlier, but if let's say one of the rules is, right, no one packs their kit away until everyone is done. So with like AMRAPs and things like that, where everyone finishes at the same time, it doesn't matter. If we're doing 5 rounds and you smash me, and then I'm still slogging my way through it, what would be best is if you'll at least acknowledge that I'm still going and go, come on, mate, keep going, nearly there, you got it. Rather than me looking up and Charlie's fucking finished 10 minutes ago and he's packing his stuff away and he's like, see you later, out the door. Like, we need to, if these rules are in place for a reason, we need to uphold them and you need to be strict about it, and it's your job as coaches to do that.
I think that drives me mad, that is. When I almost, not have a go at people, I don't have a go at people, but I just stop. Like,
just 2 seconds to wait there.
It'll take an extra 5 minutes, but it'll mean the world for that person that they don't see you like stripping, like almost moving equipment around them to pack stuff away, and they're in the middle of like this honking workout and they're dying, and you're like, oh, excuse me, like with a barbell in your hand or like kettlebells, and you just think, just wait an extra 2-3 minutes. You've signed up for the hour-long class anyway. You're not going to run late. Just stand there, encourage them, because the feeling of, or like if you are one of these people who are, I don't know, maybe a bit nervous about doing a CrossFit class and you're already thinking, oh, I'm going to be the last one to finish, this is fucking shit, you know, you're down on yourself. As soon as you start to see that, oh, I am the last one left, you are going to get this bit of like, oh, I don't want to do this. But then also on top of that, if you start to see that people are now packing away, you're going to feel it even worse.
Fucking
then,
hell,
yeah.
like, oh, is the class over?
You're like, I'm hanging so far behind that people are leaving, I'm still going.
Yeah.
It's just,
everyone should be in that position though, so you can know what it feels like to be the last one and have people either cheer for you or take the piss.
Or just go, yeah, try, I'm going to lock the gym up.
Yeah,
and you'll
I'm all right, Jack.
Yeah.
So as long as all the coaches are on the same sheet in the sense of like, these are the rules, this is what we do, this is the standard we uphold, and on the same sheet with coaching. So
that's a big one.
Yeah, so if you're saying, right, stay over the bar and drive through your legs, and I'm saying, pull the bar into you, use your hamstrings on this clean, and just hip thrust it around your body. They come over and they say, well, Charlie said this, and Sam said this, and one of you's right and one of you's wrong. Or you might even both be saying the same thing, not the analogy I just used, but you might be both saying the same thing in a different way. And if you can both literally sing from the same hymn sheet of, this is how we coach, this is what we do, or even just have conversations back and forth. You know, I was coaching Sam the other day, he was doing this wrong. This is what I said to him. Oh, that's a good idea. And you're on the same fucking page.
Communication.
Yeah, exactly. So in every aspect, the coaches should be on the same page, even if they disagree or not. Like having bi-monthly, quarterly, whatever you want.
Yeah, I don't think gyms do that enough.
No, coaches meetings of, I think I'm right, and this is how we coach a jerk. You think you're right. Let's have a back and forth, and we go, right, we agree on this. Maybe we can both go forward with the same cues or the same idea, or at least just have a conversation about it. So all the coaches being on the same page is a massive one.
Yeah, for anyone like running a gym, if you are listening to this, like you could take this advice or not, and you could say, it's my way or the highway. But when you have a coaches meeting, let's say if you've got 5 people, it's very rarely that all 5 of you are going to have the exact same point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very rare. Unless it is literally something as like, right, what is an air squat? Well, hips have to go below the crease of the knee. Does everyone agree? Yes. Job's good. But with something as complex as a snatch or a muscle up or a toe to bar or double unders or something that's like takes more learning than something that can be done in seconds. If you are the overseer, so let's say if you're the owner of the gym and you have 5 coaches, if you're lucky enough to have 5 coaches, you shouldn't also then dictate to what the 5 should coach. So you shouldn't say, it's my way and you 5 have to do it my way. Does that make sense? Like you said, you should be able to have a meeting with your coaches and say, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What's the easiest way for someone to understand all of those things that you've just said?
Mm-hmm.
It's probably this way. Right, we'll go with this way for, let's say, people who are brand new. For people who are a little bit more knowledgeable, then you can have a little bit more free reign because you understand that they've got a little bit more, they've got more skin in the game, they understand the movements a bit more. But it shouldn't be like if I'm the owner and Sam and 4 others are there and I'm like, no, you know what? This is how you teach a snatch.
Yeah.
This is how you teach a muscle up. This is how you teach a this. Because it's like, well, he, for example, would know a lot more about muscle ups than me. Like you would, and toe to bar and gymnastics and CrossFit, you would look like. But in my respect, I would probably know more about the snatch and clean jerk. So what's the point in me saying, Sam?
Yeah. But
this is the muscle up.
This is the thing, though.
So teach it this way.
So if I owned the gym now and I sat down with yourself and like other coaches, I would say, even if I thought I'm right, I would say, this is why I think I'm right. And then it opens the floor for a discussion of, no, this is what I would do. And the thing is, you have to have enough humility to be okay with being wrong. If I said, no, this is how I want to snatch, and you explained, no, this is what I do and this is why I do it, and I go, you know what, that actually makes more sense. Let's go with that. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
And then you have enough about you to go, right, I've done CrossFit for 10 years. I've coached this many people from not being able to do a muscle up to being able to do them, that is my proof that I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then as long as you have a conversation about it and just, like you said, communicate, talk. I'm okay with being wrong, but let's just get to the right answer or the best way of doing it, regardless of who's right. Because we all get to where we need to be and we're all better because of that.
Exactly. And the easiest way as well, if you're not having these meetings and you are a coach that is maybe in a gym environment with lots of coaches, is if you see someone doing something wrong, don't immediately correct. Ask them what they're thinking about first. So it doesn't matter if they're doing weightlifting or gymnastics or CrossFit or high rocks or whatever it is. If you see someone doing a snatch wrong or missing lifts or whatever, and you go up to them and you immediately go, you know what you should do? You should do this, this, and this, and this. Well, they could be thinking about something that they've been taught by Sam or by myself that they're really trying hard to fix, and then you just come in and just go, right, scrap all that, do this. So if you just walk over and say, Sam, what were you thinking about during that snatch?
What are you working on?
What are you working on? What techniques are you doing? And you'll go, oh, well, I saw Charlie the other day and he told me to do X, Y, and Z. And you go, oh yeah, that's really good. What you could add on to that if you or you could, oh right, okay.
Or just leave it alone.
Or you could just say, yeah, all right, okay, that's good. I'll watch a couple of lifts and see if there's anything else that needs to be changed, or if you're doing that or whatever. And you just literally leave the field open rather than just shutting the door and saying it's my way or the highway.
Also, what's worse than that is when you're not a coach and you come over and do it and you start berating people like a carpet salesman, telling them this is what you should be doing, stop doing that, start doing this. Some of the times with people, I like to just say, I'm not going to give you any cues, just show me what you've got. Just start from there and then we can fix one thing and then go from there. Some of the other things I would do to stop I get it when people say CrossFit's clicky, high rocks is clicky, weightlifting's clicky. Whatever scenario you have, being a child on the playground with your friends is clicky. You will have different pockets of friendship groups. That's just how humans work. So it's not surprising that it happens in a gym. So what I would do is, as a coach, if we're doing a partner workout, I wouldn't have, in our gym, Brad and Becky. Like, you two are really good. They go together for a bit of a push. I would say, Brad, maybe you go with so-and-so, and Becky, you go with so-and-so. And as long as it's scaled correctly, you're both going to be blowing out your ass at the end of this. And you've made a new friend with someone that you might really get on with that you wouldn't otherwise know. Like, how many clients, for example, have you started with, and you don't know them, you've got nothing in common, you wouldn't necessarily go, I would choose this person as a friend, and then you get chatting to them because you've been given the time with that person. You go, I fucking really like this person. I get on so well with them. You get a lot more of that if you're paired up with people that you're not so familiar with. And then after enough time of doing it, you are friends with everyone in the gym, and it's not as clicky, and it's just a better scenario for everyone. If everyone knows everyone, it's like if I went to a Christmas night out with the gym, I know absolutely everyone from the gym because I'm there all day, every day. It's not like I just do 4:30 class.
Yeah, you're not pushed into a corner with 3 people and that's it. That's the only 3 people you know. You know everyone there.
Yeah.
Something that I would give advice to, not that people need advice, but when you're doing a partner workout, right? Sometimes I'll do that. So I'll say, right, okay, so I'll say one of the guys is one of the guys, or one of the guys is with one of the girls in a workout, and I know the ability level is different. I know that he's been doing it way longer than he has, or he's way stronger than he is. What I would say to people who do CrossFit, and if you are experienced, right, what I hate seeing is if I see a partner workout and the one person has split up the workout and they're doing even things. So it's like, let's say it's the same weights, same everything, and I'm a lot fitter than you are, and it's a really long workout or a gassy workout, and I'm saying, right, we'll split these into 10's. I know I can do 10. You can't do 10.
Yeah.
So what happens is, if you haven't got that presence of mind, is I'm smashing through my 10 like it's fucking no tomorrow, and then I turn to you, and you're on your hands and knees, absolutely dying, trying to get through your 10, which then makes me have more rest, which then I see people
I have
get
less
annoyed.
rest.
It's like people get annoyed with, which really pisses me off, because I'm like, well, just do more then.
Yeah.
You are a more
You
experienced.
do 12,
CrossFitter.
you do 8.
Yeah, it's like, do 15. Give them a chance. Say, right, don't worry, on this, I'll do all of these. Or, don't worry, you have a sit down, you have a drink, I'll do this. Work harder for your partner. I remember there was one a long time ago in a CrossFit class, which I got a bit annoyed with. And it's very rarely for me to get annoyed. And I actually had to kind of stop and go, why are you getting annoyed? Like, it's a CrossFit class. But I just thought, There was a partner workout, and the one guy who was very renowned for like typically like dropping reps and like cheating and being lazy and not RXing, and when he could he was strong enough, but he was just CrossFit just wasn't his sport, to be fair to him, but he just turned up anyway, and he did a partner WOD with someone, and he just kept pushing all of the work onto this guy and onto his partner, and I was like, the other guy, to be fair, didn't say a word, he just got on with it, but I could just see this guy was just getting absolutely drilled by every station, every exercise. It was like me saying to you, right, I'll do 5 wall balls, you do 25. And then I say to you, when you finish those wall balls, let's go for a run. And I just like fucking bomb off on my run. And you're just like...
You've had 30 seconds rest.
It was like that. And I remember just saying to him, just do some work for me. Just stop. I was like, I just got the one person to stop. I was like, you stop, you sit, you do the burpees, or you do this. And he was like, oh, what do you mean? It's a partner workout. And I was like, yeah, it is. So... do the fucking work.
It just becomes a snowball effect if you're doing the equal amount of work to a partner. Like you end up putting them in a hole.
Yeah,
you get more rest, they get less, and it gets worse and worse.
I hate seeing that, and I will often step in if that happens, and I'll say, look, when they do theirs now, you do 5 and they do 10, and you just grab a drink, you do what you need to do. Or if they're doing laps of the building or whatever, and I see someone really struggling, I might say, right, this time you just row until they get back.
Yeah.
And just take a little bit
off.
Yeah,
chill out on the rower as well.
Anyway,
cutting reps is one of those things that I would really crack down on as well, because it does fuck me off.
Yeah.
The only time it really pays off for everyone who knows it's going on and they just get annoyed with it is when you have the open and things like that, and you go, you know, the person who always wins or comes top 3 in the class, and then they are now like bottom 10%, and you think, you're only cheating yourself. You are literally, as corny as it sounds, no one cares. You are only cheating yourself. Just do the amount of reps. There was someone, he doesn't come to the gym anymore actually, and he ended up being a really nice bloke, but he always used to cut reps. Always used to cut reps, and everyone knew about it. And then almost out of nowhere, I don't know if someone called him out on it, but he started doing the reps. He started being honest with himself and just doing it. And then he was dropped down to the bottom of the class. And then over the next few months, he started just working his way up. He lost a bit of weight. He got better. He actually ended up being really good.
Yeah.
But just from doing the amount of work and not cutting reps.
Yeah.
So again, that comes back to upholding standards and rules, and I would enforce that. I wouldn't publicly call people out, but I'd be like, you sort of stand over them when they're doing their 21s. You'd be like 17, 18, and sometimes they'll look at you and be like, no, I'm on fucking 21. Like, mate, they say my first rodeo.
The thing with that is like upholding standards. It's like, yes, it's absolutely fine to uphold standards. I would only uphold standards like that with someone who is blatantly then going about their day saying they are better than other people from it. So, you know, if you get someone who, like in a leaderboard situation, says, oh, well, I did Grace a minute quicker than Sam, I would look at that and go, well, okay, next time, let's count you.
You did 24 reps.
It's like, okay, if you're shaving now, now you're saying publicly that you're better than people. Like, don't get me wrong, I've not asked if you fucking... do whatever you want to do, but it's like when people cheat and then start comparing themselves to others, that point.
That's a good point actually, because there are some people who might cut reps in the sense of they're really self-conscious and they don't want to be dead last by a mile.
Yeah.
So everyone might be running out the door after their wall balls and they're the last one there, and they sort of look around and they've got maybe like 5 left and they just do one and run out the door. Like, I'd rather you do the reps, I'd rather you be honest with it, but I would also rather you come back and stay in the gym. And if you being that self-conscious means you're not going to come back again, and you can stay in the gym for a little bit longer and make some more progress by cutting a few reps at the start, that seems like a better option for me than you just going, oh, you know, this isn't for me, I was really embarrassed. So I definitely wouldn't call people out publicly on that, but it's about the intent, isn't it? If I'm, you know, if I do 25 reps and you do 30 and I'm like, oh, you fucking smashed you on that one. Well done. Yeah, you deserve to be getting called out for that in public, because you won't do it again, because it's fucking embarrassing.
Anyway,
that's what I would do.
That is our rant about CrossFit and weightlifting gyms.
Yeah.
We had another question from Mike as well. So he said, what is your best non-lifting athletic feat you've ever witnessed? Now, I've been trying to think of stuff like live, but most of them had barbells in them. There was a couple of rugby moments, but they're not like that impressive that would...
Like, oh my God moment,
shit, like people need to hear this. But so we've gone with...
And these are things that we've actually, like, in real life, maybe watched it on TV or witnessed ourselves, but not... You can open Instagram and you can see some crazy shit every day.
I think if we go from that one, then that one, I think
we'll
end on the biggest biggest
We'll
one?
finish on the biggest one.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 between us that
Yeah.
we've all both of us have watched all 3 of these somewhat live.
So I remember Travis Pastrana's first ever double backflip on a motocross bike. Now, that will probably sound ridiculous because, like, there's loads of fights and there's loads of like UFC fights and boxing and there's loads of F1 and things like that we've watched over the years that you could bring on. But there's so many. But I remember being a kid and there was always this question about, could it be done? Like, could it actually happen? And you had like the Nitro Circus build up and everything that went into it. And I remember watching it on what was the TV channel? It was
MTV.
MTV. No, it was on. Was it Extreme Sports on Sky Sports?
It's all these shitty channels
in
between,
like,
aren't they?
at the arse end of nowhere, and he did it on the X Games, and it was just watching that. I remember watching it and being like, oh my god, shit! Like he's actually done a double backflip, and to land it as clean as he did. Obviously, people don't really give a fuck, but I remember being a kid watching it, being like, holy
it's a
shit,
big deal, yeah.
This is crazy stuff. And now you look at it, and now it's just set.
Kids are doing it now on motorbikes.
Yeah,
but the thing is, though, right? We didn't have this then.
Yeah.
Everything's diluted now. So you being at home and then watching that with your dad, and you're like, oh my god, he's done a backflip. Like my dad's not on the internet, so he can still watch stuff on sort of YouTube on the TV, and it's like that amazing again. He's like, Sam, have you seen this? I'm like. Yeah, like a million times, Dad. Which is, I'd rather be that excited than, everything be watered down a little bit. Yeah, the stuff they did on Nitro Circus was awesome. Yeah. So the second one we both remember this, was the 2003 Rugby World Cup. Mm-hmm. England beat Australia in the final against Australia, and I want to say they were down on points. And Johnny Wilkinson got handed the ball towards the very end of the game, maybe like the play before the end of the game. I haven't watched it since, so I could be off. Drop goal to win. The ball, I can still see it now. As soon as it leaves his foot, the bald Australian player jumping up like that. He was never going to reach it, but you could see the look on his face of thinking, no. And it goes over, and everyone around my living room, my mum's English, so we were like, we wanted England to win in this scenario. Jumping up around the room, screaming and shouting. It was just electric.
In Australia.
In Australia.
Everything about that moment was just. It was like, as a kid, if you could say, like, how many times were you playing football or rugby in the back garden or something like that, and you would imagine these scenarios where you're like, the last kick of the game, oh, it's a penalty to win it for Wales or England or whatever, and you're like, oh, last try of the game, or you were
that you said 6 times a game.
Yeah, you would kick it, miss.
Well, like, this goal wins now.
It was like that. It was like that one where it was like, have you seen those ones where it's like, this time, if I miss, my dad dies, and then you miss, and you go, no.
Starting again from now.
Like, right, this time, right, if I miss, my dad dies. It's like that. But it would be literally you going out into the garden then and trying to reenact. I don't know how many times I tried to like take a drop goal after that moment, just thinking like Johnny Wilkinson, or you would have the old, standing over. You wouldn't have a kicking tee; it'd be a cone or a shoe.
Yeah.
And you just put a ball on top of it, and you'd just be standing.
You'd be digging your heel into the floor.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that was it, making a little ridge. That moment in itself just bred a whole level of. It was similar to David Beckham when he scores the free kick.
Oh my God! What?
And it was everyone then went. Right, we're going to go out in the back garden and start taking free kicks like David Beckham.
What was the one? It was either Man U or it was England, but he basically scored from the halfway line and he's on like the closer side of the pitch to the camera. Was it?
United.
Yeah, the keeper was off the line and he went.
Yeah, everyone. There's moments like that you just go, you try and reenact, which is cool.
But the greatest feat of athleticism we've all ever seen. I remember where I was for it, but Usain Bolt, 100-meter world record, 9.558. 5'7", 5'8", something like that.
Savage. It's just I remember. I think everyone remembers where they were. I remember I was actually out at the time with my mates, and I remember having a curfew of. I think it was on at like 8. It must have been on at like 8 o'clock or something like that. And it was like my dad said, "I'm going to pick you up from wherever you are at around 7:30 because I need to get us home." We need to watch this live.
But the build-up was so sick because in the quarters or the semis, he broke the world record and like he either looked to the side or slowed down or something, and everyone was like, what the fuck is this guy? Like, no one's ever come into sprinting over 6'1" and been this successful. No one's ever broken the world record and slowed down at the end. So if he's already broken it and he's held back, imagine what he's going to do in the final.
Yeah, so it's just
And I was in a caravan on holiday in West Wales, and I remember it was just pissing down, and we were stuck inside, and it ended up being the best day ever because this was on, and nothing else in the world mattered at the time.
No, there's other sort of records, and like there's loads of things as well that you could say. Like we were looking through incredible moments, and it wasn't even like moments. It was more like people. You would look at like the Mo Farah moments, the Michael Phelps, obviously winning countless fucking medals and records, and the Kipchoge we talked about.
2-hour marathon.
Like there's loads of things like that which.
I can't lie though, I don't really care that much about the marathon.
Yeah, it's like you look at them, and I think the 100 meters in all sports is pretty much like the sexiest.
But this is what I was going to say earlier. So it is. Everyone has their favourite sports in the Olympics. I really like watching javelin. I really like the judo. I like the wrestling. I don't even mind the swimming. But everyone, regardless of what you do in your own personal life, everyone wants to watch the 100-meter record, the 100-meter finals. You know, even the 4x100-meter relay. People just want to see people run as fast as they can.
Yeah.
Regardless of, you might be really into, I don't know, rock climbing, and they have some version of speed climbing or something at the Olympics, and you're into that. You will also be really into the 100 meters just because it's such an attractive thing for people to watch.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the most impressive.
Incredible non-lifting athletic.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that.
Yeah. So to go along with the Instagram questions, so I asked a question online saying it could be funny, could be serious. So we've had a couple of funny ones, we've had a couple of serious ones, a couple of really deep ones and dark ones. And it was, I asked, what is one thing that you've learned with age?
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes you can't learn things at certain ages, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think you just learn pains and aches and differences of opinion through just aging normally. So we've had quite a lot of feedback actually from this one.
It's hard to think of one thing that is the most profound thing that you've learned at any age. But I think if I was talking to my younger self and I was pursuing something that I wanted to do, is that other people don't really care. And even if they care enough to take the piss out of you of whatever you're trying to do or you're trying to be good at, if you just carried on anyway and you got really good at it, those same people would tell someone further down the road, oh yeah, I used to know that guy, I went to school with him, and they would almost brag about the fact that they knew you. If you got so good at the thing that you were obsessed with doing that they originally took the piss out of you for.
Yeah. Literally, one of the girls said, in the nicest way, no one else gives a shit about you, so just do it and be whatever it is you want to be. So I think, yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. I think that's a pretty good motto to live by. I think you can hold yourself back by caring so much that what other people think, when in reality,
and those other people that've got those opinions that would hold you back, they're just as fucked up and as broken as everyone else. So why do you care so much about what they say? There was this kid I went to school with, and for some reason I always really valued his opinion on things, because he was always really negative and he always had something to say and he was a bit of a smart ass. And you look at him now and you think, mate, I wouldn't fucking cross the street for you. Like I could not give a shit what you said about it. It wouldn't even. It was just water off a duck's back now.
Yeah.
Which is a nice position to be in now. But as a teenager, you do get affected by everything people say to you.
Yeah. We got a bit of a funny one from Geordie. I don't know if I can read the full thing out.
Do it.
But I'm going to read it in sections. He said the weightlifting community is full of blank that are full of people that have failed at other sports.
The weightlifting community is full of socially inept fruits that have failed at other sports.
That, yeah. Funny enough, I was speaking to someone on Friday about it, to Corey about it actually, and it is funny how you can almost trace like a list from the top down into sports, and people like sort of dribble down into other sports through failing at one sport. And for me, it was like weightlifting is usually full of people who have failed at CrossFit.
And we can say this
and
because
I am.
Yeah.
Like, I am that person.
I never played any field sport or team sport or whatever at a very high level because I just fucking wasn't good enough.
Well, this is it. So this is literally my journey. Went from being a footballer and like sporting to then going into CrossFit, failing at CrossFit, and then settling at weightlifting, and that was where my sort of journey has ended to this point. But you would get we kind of going about it saying Hyroxers were almost failed CrossFitters
Or failed runners.
CrossFitters were failed athletes.
Yeah.
And it just happens. Like, it just fucking happens.
Do you find that if you have someone who is really good at a sport, like let's say they're a professional rugby player, they kind of don't go to other sports because they're doing the thing that they should be doing? And like you said, there is a trickling down and a filter system of, I can't do that, so I might as well do this. If you can't teach. If you can't teach PE. And we're essentially PE teachers to a degree to people that aren't in school.
Yeah, it's almost I would say either failed or retired. And when I say failed, I am one of them. So before you go, I am a failed. I'm a failed footballer. I'm a failed CrossFitter.
Yeah.
And I'm somewhat of a failed fucking weightlifter, to be honest.
No, you're not.
Like, but you know what I mean? It's take it with a pinch of salt. It's a bit of a laugh, but you do get the.
And by the way, that's coming from a professional weightlifter or ex-professional weightlifter,
exactly.
like an elite athlete who can poke fun at himself. So.
There's one from Tom Eels said, "Don't wait, do." I think that one you have to have hindsight for. You have to have age for, because I think you regret quite a lot that you look back on as you age and as you get older, and you look back and you've had chances when you were 18, 20, 22, 25, whatever it is, at whatever age you are now, and you'll look back and you go, I had that chance then, and I didn't do it because of X, Y, or Z, or because of this person, or because of my circumstances weren't there, and you just realise that, if I just bit the bullet and just went for it, I could have had something a little bit different now, you know?
I wish, my granddad always used to say to me when I was in school, he's like, are you going to play cricket? And I was like, oh no, cricket is shit. Are you going to be doing this? You play more rugby, you play more football, blah, 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 blah. And he would say, if I was your age again, I would be playing all of these sports every day.
Yeah.
And now that I'm past the point of being able to do that, I should have been playing all of those sports every day. But like back to the thing with training kids and with Lily wanting to go to the gym, I think if you and I had those exposure to, if you lift weights, you can, I've got cramp in my leg. You can be better at these sports just by doing a bit more training. We would have been better. We would have done more. We would have enjoyed it more. And I wish that kids knew that you can, what you've got isn't what you've got. You can physically change your body. You can change what you're good at. And then that bleeds into everything else. Like you do a little bit more homework, or you try and revise a little bit more, and you're actually smarter than you were.
Yeah.
You're not stuck with what you've been given.
Yeah.
I really, really wish more people know that, and that's something I'm going to massively put into my kids.
Yeah, I think we mentioned, your granddad then saying, if I was your age, I would be doing all of these things. Something that I really hold myself accountable to, and really sort of, this is one of the mottos that might sound cringe to people, say live my life by, but something that I always say to myself when I'm not motivated, or I'm tired, or I'm wanting to put things off, or I'm wanting to take the easy route, is basically just do it for the version of you that can't. So in 10 years time, when I'm looking back at my life, if I've hit things, or I always resort back to training, because that is the biggest part of my life in terms of my growing up, and the goals that I've set myself have mainly been gym related, or
it's always been there.
It's always been something that's been consistent. But if I'm 40 or 50 or 60, and I look back and I look back at it with, yes, I did empty the tank, yes, I did have a good go at everything, and even if I don't hit certain numbers, if I can honestly say to myself that, yeah, I did everything that I feel that I possibly could have to do it, I'll be quite content. But you just have to you have to realize that, these sessions that you miss, or the sessions that you half-ass, or that at some point you won't be able to even half-ass that session. You won't have the opportunity to be able to have the body to say a half-ass session is now 4 threes at 160. I might get to a point where I'm doing 4 threes at 110.
Yeah.
And that now is a hard session. And I'll have to enjoy that, and I'll have to enjoy the process. But you are never you are never going to have the same body that you did right now.
It's a scary
Yeah.
thought, isn't it? Training really hard at a certain point and knowing you're just training to stave off getting older. You're not actually going to, you're not looking to peak or do more than you've ever done. And I think if you do everything now that you can, let's say like the ultimate end goal is I want to front squat 200, 220, whatever the fuck it is. And you do that, then you're okay with going, well, I can take a step back now. Like Eddie Hall winning World's Strongest Man, he knew that was never going to be a consistent thing. He did it once, and then he was okay with removing himself and removing all these negatives to his lifestyle, because he can now go, yeah, I'm not as strong as I was, but I'm also way healthier. I'm way happier. I've got all this money.
A happier life.
Yeah, I'm not going to die from, being 190 kilos and sleeping with breathing apparatus.
Yeah, exactly that. Another one from Tom, you can only control your internal and not the external. A lot of these ones actually is quite a common theme, is people saying like, stop caring what other people think, or stop trying to please or chase or do more things for you. It's quite a reoccurring pattern amongst these people, and it is quite true. Like in today's society, we do compare ourselves to everyone. It doesn't matter. Like I made the funny video of me comparing myself to fucking Colton Engelbrecht. Now I'm never going to be him, but as a funny video, it was quite amusing. But people do that. People might look at someone and go, "Oh, I'm never going to be him. Oh, this is horrible," and they take that literally. Whereas I can have a little bit of tongue in cheek and say, fuck it. It is what it is.
Literally no good comes from negatively comparing yourself to things that you can't control. It has no bearing on your life. You can't control it. So just worry about the things that you can control.
Yeah.
Can you change it? Yes, then change it. If you can't change it, don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. Big one from Sam. General lesson: just being present, not looking always at the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Just having that moment to yourself where you appreciate what you maybe have achieved or what you're looking for, or maybe if you haven't achieved it, not just going, oh, you know what, this is getting hard now, just fucking dive off onto the right hand side.
It's a very human thing to do, isn't it, looking at the next thing. But I forgot the author. I think it was the Atomic Habits author. No, it wasn't. That's James Clear. Anyway, some guy was on holiday, and he was in this really nice hotel looking out on the balcony over at the beach when the sun was coming up in the morning. And instead of him thinking, I'm really enjoying this, this is where I wanted to be, this is what I worked for, he was there on the balcony looking at all of this going, how nice would it be to come back here again next year? Instead of, he was already looking at exactly everything he had in a year's time, instead of just enjoying what I'm doing right now. It's quite hard to do that, to have those pinch yourself moments. So I think that's why everyone really likes sports or something where you're so in the moment you can't think about external factors. Like if you're in the middle of a football game and you're thinking, oh fuck, what do I want for dinner later? Like your man's just run past you with a ball.
No, that's very good, very fair. You got Stuart. Some people don't understand the difference in being selfish and self-preservation. That's an interesting one. Yeah, I think it makes sense how it can be perceived, but taking that time for yourself when it is needed, it can be looked upon as, oh, what the fuck's Sam doing? He's taking himself away, or he's not responding to this, or he's been. But sometimes maybe Sam just needs that time to just maybe, like I said to you recently, I felt really, really burnt out with training and work and the pod and stuff like that, and I literally messaged you and I was like, look, mate, I just need, give me 3 or 4 days of just chilling. And now straight away I feel back to normal, back to firing fit and ready to go again. But if I just bottle that up and let that go, well, the quality of my life is affected. And like you said, I could implode on the wrong person. You know what I mean? I could start being an arsehole to you, and you could be looking at me like, what the fuck is Charlie doing?
What have I done?
What do you say fuck me for?
Yeah, I think it's a really important thing, and part of being an athlete as well is very selfish. But knowing when you need to go, look, I need to take a step back, so I'm going to be, easier for everyone else to deal with. Like, if I haven't trained for 3 days or so, like, I'm fucking hard work to be around. And it's not me trying to be a dick. You've just got this pent up something that you need to do. Whereas Abby's like, look, just go to the gym, fuck off, come back in an hour. And I come back and you go,
life is good.
I'm sorry. Like, if you're really hungry and you're stressy and then you eat and you go, I'm I'm sorry
back.
for what I said when I was hungry
I'm
or
back.
tired or all of these normal feelings that people get.
Yeah, we'll end on a couple more, and then we'll do a little bit of a section that I'm going to spring on you at the end, actually, which is going to be a bit of a game.
Oh yeah, I've been
I
looking
haven't
forward to
actually
this.
prepped you for this, but there's two more. We'll end on a couple of funny ones. So first one, you can buy as many ROM2s as you like, and you can still miss lifts. I think that is.
What's the Louis Simmons one? Don't have $100 shoes and a 10-cent squat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, your problems aren't going to be fixed by buying the latest shoe. Put it that way.
No.
But it is something. When you have adult money, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like when you realise that you have adult money and you can spend it on what you want.
If you have adult money, you should have adult responsibilities, not buying fucking 20 pairs of shoes.
Toy.
Yeah.
And then one that he said, he said a lack of mobility,
Right.
which is quite funny actually, but we can talk about
it. It is a problem. So me and Charlie, we almost do like a bit of a debrief before the podcast, and I asked when it came to mobility, what is the worst sport to come into, let's say CrossFit, because you need a load of mobility in every position in CrossFit. What is the worst sport to do prior to CrossFit to come in for poor mobility?
I said rugby.
Yeah.
But it depends on positioning in rugby. If you're in the pack in rugby, if you're in a scrum, you're gonna. I would say the closer you get to the front of the scrum, the less mobility you're gonna have, and the harder you're gonna find CrossFit. If you're a scrum half or a 15 or a 10 who's supple, mobile, light on their feet anyway, you're gonna, like for example, my client Evan, or our mate Evan.
Shout out Evan.
He's great weightlifter, good CrossFitter.
He's a fucking good athlete.
Good athlete, but he's a 9. He's a scrum half.
Yeah.
He does throw himself around a bit too much for my liking, to be honest. He gets injured a lot.
He's quite fragile, isn't he? Yeah.
He's a bit of a fucking lunatic. That's why.
Yeah.
I think the closer you get, as soon as you start getting into that scrummage position, this position where you're wrapped around, if you try and now put your arms above your head to do a kip, you are going to be in some serious
you get
pain.
good at what you do consistently, and if you're like Tank, who comes to the gym, like big strong guy, but his overhead is kind of like this. Yeah. If you're constantly holding this position as an isometric, like you'll get good at that, but you'll struggle outside of it. I said endurance sports, so I don't disagree with you because rugby is awful. It's almost no one makes it out of that alive. But endurance sports, try and find someone who's over the age of 35 who's competed in long distance running, for example. That can do a really good squat, but because you almost get rewarded for efficiency with running, in the sense of Achilles tendon stiffness. The more springy and stiff my ankle is, I put less effort into running, and each stride propels me forward, like the what are those insoles you get in shoes that are...
the carbon fiber.
Yeah.
Springy
So
ones,
if you bend those down and let go of it, it can spring forward. Same as the shoes that do it. So essentially, if my tendon's really, really stiff, and every time I push my heel to the floor, it shoots back up, that's really good for running. Really bad for squatting, because you can't get your knee past your toes. Your hips are tight because they never go into a squat. It's not ideal. Whereas if you have someone who comes from gymnastics or weightlifting into CrossFit.
If you've got look at Matt Fraser, for example.
Yeah.
You're looking at Matt Fraser came in as a weightlifter and then went into CrossFit and immediately just lit the world on fire. But it's because he's mobile and supple enough to do everything else, isn't he?
Yeah.
Speaking of CrossFit, I'm going to drop a clip on you here. So,
I just caught a thing of it. I've seen these ones online.
So I'm going to say, we're going to do a clip of winner stays on. Okay, so it's a quick fire round and it's a winner stays on. So I'm going to name 2 CrossFitters and you have to eliminate one.
What, based on what, my favourite or who's the best?
Whatever. It's your fucking choice.
Who would win in like a fucking random model?
No. It's just literally your favourite. You could be favourite, you could be best, it could be most memorable. It doesn't matter.
I'll keep it consistent. I'll go, who is the better CrossFitter? In my opinion.
Oh, okay.
Alright,
okay. So winner stays on, CrossFit edition. Noah Olsen or Patrick Vellner?
I can say Noah Olsen, even though Patrick Vellner's done better. I think Noah Olsen was a better CrossFitter. Yeah. He did better in the Open. He did better in, I want to say regionals, but the CrossFit Games was very different in it. It favoured Patrick Vellner for a few things.
Okay. Noah Olsen or Dan Bailey?
Noah Olsen.
Ooh. Noah Olsen or Josh Bridges?
Josh Bridges.
Oh, okay. This one's a big one. Josh Bridges or Jason Kleeper?
Jason Kleeper.
Oh, Jason Kleeper or Ricky Garrard?
Jason Kleeper.
Oh, Jason Kleeper or Jason Hopper?
Jason Kleeper.
Oh,
Mate, he's the fucking man.
Jason Kleeper or Rich Froning?
Rich Froning.
Rich Froning or Matt Fraser?
Rich Froning.
Oh, that's
Rich
a big
Froning
one.
is the fucking GOAT, right?
That's a fucking big one.
Given the time period he was in when it was still, not in his like infancy, but it was at very much the start, he just fucking wanted it more than everyone else. He was better, he was fitter. I think Matt Fraser was, if you put like prime against each other, he was better.
Yeah.
But I think you're better because of who has come before you to put the work in.
Okay. Would there be anyone to sway Rich Froning off the top?
Anyone that's better than Rich Froning? No. Tia's probably the best CrossFitter ever.
That might come into play in another CrossFit
cool.
edition.
I like that. We should do one. I could do one of those for you with weightlifting.
But yeah, so I think we've been about an hour and 10.
Yeah, give or take, man.
Yeah, awesome.
Right.
So that's another episode done.
Thank you very much, guys, for listening. As always, thank you to Usk Stoves. We're going to be opening. We'll talk about that actually in a video.
Yeah.
Some cool things for us, some cool things for you guys going forward. But 10% off Usk Stoves, MP4 0JL for anything you need off those guys. Thank you very much.
Legend. Thank you.